Welcome back to Andersen Acres. We're in the kitchen again today, and if you hear a whirring sound in the background, that's our little robo-vac, Alfred. He's cleaning the floor, and I don't care that much, so I'm filming anyway. So tonight we are going to make pitas, and we are going to make the kind that have those nice pockets where you can pull them apart and stuff them with your favorite ingredients. You can make sandwiches, you can use them in place of taco shells, whatever you like. We're going to make them, and it's surprisingly easy. These pitas bake and they kind of magically form those pockets. You don't have to do anything special to do it. Okay, there's no comparison between a pita you buy in the store and a pita you make at home. I'm just going to make a basic plain pita. I will make other variations with herbs and stuff, but for now we're just going to make plain pita using just your regular all-purpose flour. So we have 6 cups of flour here. Okay, that's how much we need because we're going to be making around 12 pitas, 12 6-inch pitas. So 6 cups of flour. To that we are going to add 1 tablespoon of sugar. Okay, give that a mix. 1 tablespoon of yeast. Now I'm using a bread machine yeast just because that's what I had in the cupboard. But if you are using a traditional yeast, you would dissolve this in your liquid first. But since I am not dissolving it in my liquid and I'm using instant yeast, I'm just putting it right in the flour. Then you're going to want a teaspoon of salt. You don't need that much salt in these, but you do need a little. Okay? Teaspoon of salt. And then we are going to add 2 cups of water. Seriously, just pour it right in there. It doesn't matter. You can do a gradual addition if you want, or you can just pour the whole thing in there. It's not really a big deal. So you can do this in your bread maker if you like. I'm not doing it in my bread maker because I have French bread dough rising in the bread maker, so my bread maker is occupied. But you can do this step in the bread maker if you like. You can also use your mixer. I'm just using a bowl because it's pretty fast and it's not really that big a deal. So once your dough is clinging together like that, you can get rid of your spoon, and we're going to just start mixing it with our hands. This is literally the best way to mix your bread dough if you're not using a mixer or a bread maker. You literally just push it down, give it a squeeze, and just keep doing that. You're kind of slowly starting to knead it as it comes together, but we're just gently. You don't want to rip the heck out of your dough. And it will stick to your fingers at first. That's not a big deal either. So gently, every once in a while, get flour on your hands. Gently push that dough around until it forms a nice dough. And I am doing a gentle kneading here. So that's what we're doing right now. Okay? As it starts to come together, so you notice it's way more together, we are going to turn it out onto our silicone baking mat because it's easier to do this on a flat surface. So we're just going to flatten our mat out a little bit. Take the whole thing, push it down, get this flour out, and just pour that right on top. Literally, there's not a lot of ceremony to this. You don't have to be super careful about mixing your ingredients, and just pour that all on there. It's not a big deal. Okay? Get that all on there. Don't get rid of that bowl because we're going to put it back in the bowl in a little bit. But then we're just going to knead it. You can knead for 10 minutes if you want. I'm not going to make you watch me knead the whole thing because that's silly. But we are going to knead our dough until it is soft and elastic. But we'll speed up the process because you don't need to sit here and watch me just knead dough. So let's speed it up. All right, there is our dough. It's looking good, all kneaded, all ready. We're gonna pop it back in the bowl. There's no ceremony to this. This is so easy, it's ridiculous. We're going to cover that bowl lightly. You don't want to lock in too much air, but you want to keep dusting that off it, and you want to keep that humidity kind of settled. And then we're just going to leave it for about an hour, hour and a half, till it rises, looks about doubled in size. Then we'll come back and start working our dough. Okay, our dough has risen, and I'm dropping the lid, but our dough has risen, so we're just going to take that out of the bowl. We don't need the bowl anymore, you can set that aside. We're going to remove the air, and while you're working on these pitas, preheat your oven to 500 degrees Fahrenheit. I know that sounds really, really, really high, but that's what it requires. Okay, you do need that full 500 degrees Fahrenheit. Sounds crazy, but that's what you need. So once we've removed the air from our dough, we're going to cut it into 12 sections. I'm making 6-inch pitas, and this is enough to make 12 of them. If you want smaller pitas, you would simply make more of them. If you want larger pitas, you would just make less of them. But I am doing 6-inch pitas. Okay, so we're just dividing our dough into 12 roughly equal pieces. Okay, don't have to be perfect, but you have to be close. So 12 roughly equal pieces. And then this one. All right, now what you want is you want to take one of your pieces of dough, use your hand to flatten it. Move those ones over there because they're in my way. Use your hand to flatten it a little bit. Try to be in a circle, okay? And then I have on my pastry mat markers that tell me how big 6 inches is. This is how I can make sure I get my dough into the right size, okay? We're just gonna do that. 6 inches. That's what we want. There we go. 6 inches. And I forgot my cookie sheet, so I'll be right back. We'll just let that sit a minute and I'll come back. Found my cookie sheet. There it is. So here's my cookie sheet. You want these nice and round, or as round as you can manage, and you want them an even thickness. So when you peel them up, they're about yay thick. And you want to set that on your cookie sheet. Now, I'm using a smaller cookie sheet because my other cookie sheet's really dirty. So I can only get a couple of these on at a time. So I'm kind of doing multiple rounds in the oven. But you can, if you have a bigger cookie sheet, all of my big ones are dirty. I've been cooking up a storm today. But if you have a bigger sheet, you can cook more at once. However, I don't. So I am going to throw these in the oven in rounds. And I'm not going to make you watch each one. 6 inches looks good to me. And you're going to throw them in the oven immediately. You're not going to do a second rise. Okay, they have to go in the oven just like this. So take them, put them on the cookie sheet. Immediately we're going to throw them in the oven, and then I'll work at shaping the other ones. How long in the oven? You are only looking at max, you're looking at 6 to 8 minutes, which I know sounds really, really fast. But they don't take long to cook because they're thin and because your oven's at 500 degrees. So they cook very, very fast. Keep an eye on them. You don't want them to burn. Set your timer for 6 minutes. Check them. If they need a couple more minutes, that's fine. But check them at 6 minutes. So we're going to pop these in the oven, and then I will continue to make all these. We will come back when we're finished baking them. All right, our pitas are out of the oven. They are still cooling. You will notice that they get a little bit puffy when they are in the oven. Now they cook really, really fast, so the outside cooks first. Do not cut them right away. They need to cool down because the inside is still solidifying. If you cut them as soon as they come out of the oven, they will not be finished in the middle and they will not properly split. So let these cool down. As soon as they are 100% cool, we will come back and slice one open and take a look. All right, they are cooled down. Let's cut one open and see if they split. I'm not using a great knife because I don't know where my good knife is, but whatever, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. There we go. Split and nice open pockets. Remember to let your oven preheat really well. You don't want to put them in too quick because you want that oven at 500 degrees. Also, you want to keep your pitas fairly thin. So remember that thickness, about the size of your finger, about the width of your finger, because if they're thicker than that, they don't puff up properly. But there they are, ready to put ingredients in, nice and delicious. And don't forget how they look when they're whole. So I hope you enjoyed making pitas with us today at Andersen Acres, and I hope you have some success with your own. Remember, if they don't puff up properly the first time, give it another try. Your oven probably wasn't hot enough, or it's possible you cut them too soon. We'll see you tomorrow.